CISPA, the Cyber Intelligence Sharing and Protection Act, has been winding its way through House and Senate committees. And any amendments that have been offered to protect the privacy of individuals, essentially what CISPA does is it makes it easier for private companies to share information about so-called cybersecurity issues with the government and with other companies. And civil rights, civil liberties advocates, I should say, and many companies and individuals have been concerned that the scope of what can be shared is so large that it would include things like not just that you've emailed this person or that person, but what's in the emails. The content of anything that you have shared with people. From private company to private company, from private company to the government, these private companies would be under no obligation to tell you that your information has been shared with these other companies or with the government. There would be no liability for these companies in doing so. And so a huge number of companies have come out. I don't know if Google has been explicit about it, but Microsoft has backed off their support of the bill. Other major companies, Mozilla, or I should say...
I think Facebook backed off.
Facebook backed off, I should say. And so this, of course, was winding its way quietly through the House and the Senate, had, I believe, had gotten through or was about to get through the Rules Committee, wherein we heard Representative Mike Rogers say this about the supposed problems with this bill.
You know, the very companies that you say are uncomfortable with this support this bill. The Silicon Valley CEOs support this bill. The people who are in the business of prosperity on the internet think this is the right approach.
With all due respect, just because there are people who are making money on the internet and they don't have a problem with sharing my information and the content of my emails, that doesn't necessarily make me feel good. That's not exactly a big sales pitch.
I mean, people on the internet, if you're, you know, a 14-year-old tweeter in the basement, as took my nephew, I had to work him over a lot on this bill because he didn't understand the mechanics of it.
You know what? I have little doubt, frankly, that this guy's 14-year-old nephew knows a lot more about the mechanics of the internet than he does. But nevertheless, it's not just 14-year-olds that are upset.
People in the tech industry are adding him on Twitter right now, giving him their age, which is a lot of people over the age of 20, many 40, 50, 60, saying what they do in the tech industry and how they do not support CISPA.
Right, of course. So Mike Rogers, F you. But aside from that, even less relevant is the fact that President Obama yesterday, apparently doing his best impersonation of a 14-year-old, I should say his administration, came out and said that we will veto. They threatened to veto CISPA as it is without any amendments to protect people's privacy. And let me just say this. When President Obama tells you that your bill infringes upon civil liberties, you know you have a problem. This is like the functional equivalent of George Bush saying, hey, why don't we before we rush into war, let's contemplate this, because it is a man of wisdom who contemplates before doing stuff. So let's just all hang back and not rush into something.
Let's proceed with a little bit of caution.
Good for President Obama.
Confucius say.
Confucius say. Good for President Obama. I'm sorry to be surprised, but I'm happily surprised.